It's just so beautiful. Sons of Ares, issue 3, is without question the best issue we've had thus far. I think it's safe to say that over the course of these 3 issues, they've improved, and probably because we're getting deeper into the story, but this really, for me, is the best one. Not just because we're at the point in the story that, for me, just takes my heart, tears it out of my chest, and prepares to set it on fire, because I ultimately know what's going to happen, because if you've read Red Rising, you know it doesn't end well ever for most people in the series. But this is also the first time where the issue started and it ended, and I didn't feel like I got left in the lurch. Now, I understand it's kind of how this works because these are issues. This isn't a full graphic novel. It's like the tiny parts that will eventually become the graphic novel. But with the other 2 episodes, it did sort of feel like things kind of got cut off mid-sentence. Like, okay, and now I need to wait for the next issue? Basically, they were all ending on cliffhangers, or something I like to call the Scheherazade effect, which is a reference to the Arabian Nights. I'm not that clever, I just think I am. Actually, no, I don't even think I am. Why am I rambling? Back to what I was talking about. This is the first time of the 3 issues where the story started and it stopped, and it sort of felt like a natural pausing point. Like we hit a point where somebody needed to stop and take a breath, and we're like, good, we'll get back to the rest of it. Again, my favorite stuff is in the Fitchner backstory part. It's when he's left Mars, he's gone to Triton, he's really just forsaking the entirety of the gold society that's there on Mars and on Luna, and everything about the family scheming and the social politics, the whole thing. He hates it, and it's probably also because it does him no favors. He's just like, I'm gonna GTFO, like, screw you guys, I'm out. What I like about this is we see the effect of the Institute upon Fitchner. It's not just that he's just like, screw you guys, I'm out. There's a lot of trauma and pain kind of left over from having been in the Institute, and the stuff that was done in the Institute. If you've read Red Rising, you remember that in the Institute, people can kill each other. I mean, besides the fact that it's usually what they have to do to get into the Institute, like, fully, a lot of that happens there. And what I like is there's a series of panels where Fitchner is meeting new people on Triton, these people who are going to be serving under him, and they're all different colors. And he says all he sees are the faces of friends he no longer has, or people he lost in the Institute. And I'm going, wow, that's bleak. But it makes sense. It's a highly traumatic, stressful place, the Institute. And despite the fact, yes, they are golds and they're meant to kind of shove aside a lot of those emotions in the pursuit of power and glory, that's a lot of trauma that's being repressed and suppressed. And Fitchner clearly is the type of person in a situation where that's not working. Also doesn't hurt, he basically hates the society he came from because he thinks it's all bullshit. Kind of is. So he's the right person to be having this dilemma. And it all comes together, again, when there's an emergency that happens on the moon where something stops working, like things are exploding, people are going to help, and he sees that all these people who are like Reds, who work the machinery because they're obviously the worker bees, they're the least important in the societal pyramid. Friendly reminder, if you don't know anything about the societal pyramid, first off, you shouldn't be listening to me ramble on Sons of Ares issue 3. You should go read Red Rising, but I did talk about the societal pyramid in my review of Red Rising. During this incident, Fitchner doesn't even think. All he hears is people crying out like, oh my god, they're gonna drown, these people are gonna die. And he just dives into water to save people. He doesn't care what color they are. Most of them are Reds. He goes in himself to save these people. In the process, he also loses an arm, and that shock actually makes him pass out, and then he is in turn rescued by Reds, and they're just like, holy crap, he's a gold. What was he doing saving us? It really re-emphasizes how ingrained the pyramid is into people's minds. These lower colors don't even think about the fact they are being treated as essentially subhuman. They're just like, wow, how did this gold decide to come save us? I'm like, because he's a decent fucking human being? What? It's mind-boggling, because we don't live in a society that has that sort of rigid, color-coded, hierarchical pyramid, and it's sort of fascinating to look at from an outside lens. And another place where you see it is done, for me, in a very subtle, non-flashy way. This is the issue where Fitchner meets Bryn, his future wife, mother of Severo. This woman who, again, when we meet her, she is great, and I like her, and again, we're tearing my heart out to light it on fire because it doesn't end well. But what's interesting is that she essentially saved Fitchner, and he lost an arm. In the process, she loses a leg. Now, what happens is, because Fitchner's a gold, he's a Dominus, his arm just gets regrown back with the technology. They just regrow it. No problem. But with Bryn, because she's a red, she has to wait to get fitted for a metal prosthetic. And no serious amount of pages are devoted to this. It is like one line, but it was a line that stood out to me because I went, wow. It does sort of show you, again, the incredible amount of inequality that this guy, yeah, we just regrow his limb, no problem, you'll be good as new. You have to wait a little bit and then we'll get you a metal prosthetic, and it's not going to be the same. Who knows how it works? Maybe it sucks. And neither of them really think anything of it, except for Fitchner, who by this point, he again is the right person to be the first one to really start going, this society is shit, it's bullshit, because he falls in love with Bryn. And he's like, our affair has to be kept secret because he gets made like the governor of this particular machine mine area, and he's just like a crap, and she's a red, I'd be fucked, she'd be fucked. And when his contract ends and he realizes he's gonna be leaving Triton and he tells her, it's like, she's clearly very upset, and he's just like, I cannot be apart from this woman. I just can't. Like, that's just not gonna work. So they marry, and again, my heart lit on fire. I was having so many emotions because it was beautiful. The illustrations were truly gorgeous. This is one of the first times I think I really appreciated the art. I mentioned in my review of the first issue that I liked things that were done in terms of speech bubbles, where speech bubbles reflected a character's color on the pyramid. But this is the first time I really was looking at the art and appreciating it so much. And I think because a lot of it is medium shots / close-ups of people and their faces, and I'm much more interested in people than kind of seeing the world around them, which sounds really counterintuitive when this is a graphic novel about a science fiction universe, and like I should care about what the world looks like, and I do, but I'm sort of much more interested in how they draw people, and because I draw emotion from people's faces, and that's just sort of what I key into. I like stuff like that, and because we had a lot of that in this issue, I really was even more into this issue than I was in either of the others. And this also has a moment in the sort of Sons of Ares mission plotline where we see the crossover of a character other than Fitchner, and I go, oh, this is going to get interesting. My heart's gonna break next issue, isn't it? Thanks for watching me ramble today. If you'd like to see more from me, go ahead and click that button with my face on it. It'll take you to my channel, where I ramble about a whole lot of different things. Got some thoughts of your own? Go ahead and leave them down in the comments. And make sure that if you want to see more ramblings from me, you click that little subscribe button. That's it for me today, you guys, so until next time, cheers.